Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
It is so wet outside. Everybody keeps being like, oh my gosh, these silly Californians with so much water. We're getting like crazy mudslides and stuff. They're calling it Storm Lucifer. So hopefully it won't live up to that name, but my hair is very wet. So for our first piece of news, there's a thing that people go to called the Konami Arcade Championship. This is where the DDR World Championships happen, and this year, an American took home the gold, which I think to any of us who have been in that vortex, you know, you're on YouTube and you wind up just watching multiple videos of people in Japan being insane at video games, like going to an arcade and just being like, and you can't even follow it. So imagine that, but with DDR, right? Everybody's holding the bar and their feet are flying all over the place. It baffles me that an American was able to win in that situation. But it was real cute. He was like, I've wanted to be real good at DDR since I was like 13. And now I'm taking the gold home to America. It was like, aw, bud. This was the sixth the sixth Konami Arcade Championship. So, you know, look, if you're incredible at DDR and you're like, no one's ever recognized me for that. I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe you need to start competing, man. Get to that CAC. Something with a lot of controversy surrounding it in this last week is that Steam has announced they are eliminating Steam Greenlight. They're going to replace it with something called Steam Direct. Now, if you spent a lot of time on Steam Greenlight, not as a person who's trying to get a game pushed through, but just as, you know, a person who wants to play a game, you know that the system was never perfect. It was always kind of weird, and it also had this strange taste in your mouth of, but when I go on Steam, there's so much garbage. How come all the garbage got through so easily? So the way that Steam is trying to fix this, which to a lot of us makes no sense, is they're creating a thing called Steam Direct. And Steam Direct is going to be a system where you submit a game along with a fee. So as long as you pay the fee and submit the game properly, your game will just be up on Steam. And I think for those of us who, you know, talk about the games industry a lot and discuss it in depth, this read to us as, God, you know, Steam Greenlight is just a pain in the butt. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I think I'm gonna come up with a system where somebody just pays me money and then they're just up there, which sounds ridiculous to me. Like, the fact that they can't hire like 10 dudes? You don't have the money to hire like 10 people to just play the games that are submitted. Just to like see if they even run, man. Like, that's not a thing you can do? Really? And now they're asking people to pay money and they don't even know how much. Right now they're like, I don't know, we've talked to a bunch of developers. Some of them think it should be like $100. Some people think it should be like 5,000. And I'm like, there are indie devs all over the place who don't have that kind of money. What are you talking about? So, needless to say, you know, opinion piece, I think that this is silly. I think for years now, they could have just hired a few people, had them be in their own little room and been like, play games, buds. You got this. But no, they just keep coming up with more like weird, convoluted ways to do it that don't work, that nobody understands. And now we're gonna be paying them even more money to not do their job. That's fine. That's cool. I love it. At least, you know, the one thing I can say, their return policy is really good. You know, like, thank God in a world filled with garbage games, thank God that if I play it for like 5 minutes and I'm like, wow, this is garbage, I could give it back and get a full refund. Thank goodness. Yo, speaking of people who have really listened to what we want and the sort of games that we enjoy, oh my God. So, Conan Exiles, not saying that the game is perfect. It's not. There are all kinds of problems with it. But it's a survival game set in the Conan universe that has come out recently. It's in early access. I believe that they're still calling it alpha. But something really cool is they did a press release saying, yo, We sold so many copies. We're so glad that this game we've poured so much love into. You know what, I'll just read it. Funcom has gone through some challenging times in recent years, and seeing the game we've poured so much time and effort into gain this amount of traction so quickly is very invigorating for everyone who works here. This is just the start of the early access adventure. We will do whatever it takes to make sure Conan Exiles turns into a fully fledged game that has something to offer new and old fans of both Conan and survival games. So, awesome! It's doing well, they're feeling invigorated, they're jazzed to keep working on the game, but to go back to what I said at the very beginning, something that they have already added, which I'm so excited about, is a dev kit for modders. They've said, yo guys, start working now. Get to work making mods. Go for it, buds. Whatever you want to do, here you go. And I feel like this has come up a lot on my show in the past, but just embracing modders is the way to keep your game interesting, right? It adds to the longevity of the game. It adds to the community, like, binding, you know? Like, everybody gets so excited to make mods, to play with mods. There are countless games that have stuck around for way longer than maybe they should have because there are people still to this day making mods for them. And I think that it's cool that they're saying, yo, I mean, we've, you know, barely scratched the surface of this game, but if you want to start working on mods now, go for it, here you go. Very cool, and as always, I'm excited. I am jazzed, if you will, to see what sort of things modders make for Conan Exiles, because there's always the people, okay, there's two different types of modders, right? Can we all agree? There's two different types of modders. There's the guys who are like, I'm gonna make this game even more epic. And then there are the guys who are like, but what if they were all My Little Ponies? Very excited. And I'm also very happy for Funcom. I'm looking forward to the way that they flesh out the game even more. I did have fun. You know what? When I played it, I did have fun. Despite the fact that I died every like 5 minutes because that game is so hard. But I did have fun. When it comes to open world games that just have billions of side quests, but you feel like they actually matter, I think that in recent memory, The Witcher 3 has been the game that a lot of people will point to. Like, that's a game where I did a side quest and it actually affected things. It was important, you know? I felt like it was okay for me to go off and like do a side quest and it wasn't a waste of my time. It really did contribute to the world as a whole and who was involved and what was going on. Like, they were meaningful. It turns out that a lot of other game developers are looking at that game and saying, yeah, that's the way to do it. The people working on Mass Effect Andromeda have taken that to heart. They are planning on having what they are calling meaningful side quests a la Witcher, which really just makes sense because, again, Mass Effect is a world that is very interesting. One of the reasons that it was so awesome in Witcher 3 is because, you know, it was the third installment. We were already so invested in these specific characters, and to like have places where we could involve them more or see little nods to other games was so cool. And to just flesh everything out and again, really feel like you were contributing to the final part, right? I think that absolutely, that's very smart to do with Mass Effect. People love it. They love the world. I think, again, any kind of a nod to the older games is going to be great for like a hardcore Mass Effect fan. So I'm delighted to hear that people are looking at a game like Witcher 3 and saying that's the way to do it, to give people experiences that make sense and feel like they're important. You know, Inquisition, they did some interesting stuff with, but I feel like they still missed the mark a little bit. There was a period of time while I was playing Inquisition where I was like, no, it's fine, because like every side quest I do is contributing to the Inquisition, right? But like it's still, in the end, I was like, oh God, this is so much busy work. So if you really loved Witcher 3, get ready, because Mass Effect Andromeda is going to try to mimic that kind of style. And if they, you know, if they really commit to it, I think it'll be super cool. For any of you who love the Payday series, it has been confirmed that Overkill is working on Payday 3. It might not be coming out anytime soon. We actually found out through a financial earnings report, which on the plus side means that it's absolutely true, right? There's like no question. But on the con side, I don't know how to say that. Conversely, we have no idea when it's gonna come out. We didn't get like, you know, a cool trailer or anything like that. We don't have any graphics to look at and be like, ooh, it looks so shiny. But they have confirmed it, that they're definitely working on Payday 3, that they're gonna take as much time as they need to make sure that it's a really good game because it is their most important property. It is with great satisfaction that we also can announce that Payday 3 production is officially initiated and at a full design stage. I'd like to especially clarify this project will enjoy as much time as we deem needed. It will be done when it's done. This is our single most important brand today and the cornerstone of our business. We will treat it accordingly. Updates in the near future might be scarce and far between. You simply don't rush Payday 3. I don't know when's the last time that you checked out Payday 2, but they continue to support that game. So if you haven't played it in a while, there might be a bunch of stuff that you haven't seen before. I think they just put out a DLC pack. That game is fun. Those games in general are very fun, and I'm excited to see what they do with Payday 3. Even if we have no idea when it's gonna come out, that's fine. Again, that's fine because they're making sure that it's a good game. Take your time, buds. I think especially the fact that they are continuing to support and add stuff to Payday 2 while they're also making Payday 3 is like, great. You're doing right by us. Go for it, man. And as a final bit of news for those of you who have not called it quits forever, the next generation of Pokemon Go is now live. There are 80 new pocket monsters that you can find around the world. Some countries have now gotten their own Pokemon that didn't have them before. You know how like there were lots of different places where it was like, oh, well, the only place that you could get a Tauros is in the US, you know, that kind of a thing. Yeah, there are more of those now. There are more countries that have their own specific Pokemon. And it's been interesting to see who's gone back to play it and who is just like, nah, I've been burned, I'm done. The Pokemon can apparently like dodge now. That's a thing that exists. So, you know, there's even more of a possibility that when you toss a Pokeball, it's just gonna fly off into the ether. I love that. Here's the thing, is that I still think that Pokemon Go is an awesome idea. I still really, really wish that they had given it the support that it needed from the get-go. You know, when everybody was really into it and really invested and really loving it. I wish that they had kept that steam going instead of making it seem like they had no idea what they were doing and they didn't understand the community, because that's how it came across. And whether or not that's true, that's how a lot of people felt. I still think that it's great for exercise. I still think that it's a great way to get people outside and doing something. And who knows, like with this new generation, this might be a way to get people back into it, for sure. Patch notes, over 80 additional Pokemon originally discovered in the Johto region, gender-specific variations, new encounter mechanics, new berries, new outfits, a new night mode map, and new night mode encounter music, bug fixes, test fixes, etc. But still, no trading. I have a friend who has been keeping like 10 Tauros just in there just in case, because she's planning on like doing some traveling, and she's like, if they add in trading, I'm ready. I'm ready to like go to another country and be like, yo, you want a Tauros because you can't get it anywhere else? Like, that's literally why she's keeping them. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm gonna be so sad for you if it just never happens, right? Or if it takes like a year or more for them to add that in. I still love the idea of Pokemon Go, and I still love that it exists. I just, you know, I just think that it's a shame that they didn't take advantage when everybody was super into it. But what can you do? Maybe everybody will get back super into it again. Ooh. But anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to watch my streams, you can find them at twitch.tv/dexbonus. If this is your first video ever, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll watch more. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Please hit the subscribe button if you think I deserved it. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Okay? Have a fantastic week, everybody. I'll see you again in the future. Bye-bye. Mwah. Yeah. That's the way to do it.